So with the Classic WoW beta underway, many people are experiencing Classic WoW for the first time. Some of you guys that didn't play back in the day may not be aware of the amazing secrets that are in the game. So with that being said, here are 7 hidden secrets in Classic WoW. Number 7, the Hidden Troll Village. It's common for Blizzard to put in Easter eggs and hidden zones in World of Warcraft. However, one of the most insane secret zones in World of Warcraft history has to be the Hidden Troll Village that is just randomly in the mountains. To access this secret zone, you would need to take a very specific path that was just outside of the Furbolg Tunnel in Winterspring. By climbing up the mountains and going to a very specific path, you can actually navigate to Darkshore. Technically, you're in the mountains right now, and this is a place that Blizzard never intended for any player to go to. As you can see, there's many buildings that are troll themed. However, to drop down here, you definitely need to have some slow fall potion, otherwise you'll probably die from the damage. But if you get down safely, you get to see a really crazy sight. There are a bunch of troll NPCs dancing, and there is just an entire village in the middle of these mountains. It's kind of hard to say why Blizzard put this into the game. Perhaps they were toying with an idea of a teleport going to this location, but they never actually implemented it into the game. So in the Classic WoW client, this is actually still in the game, and you can access this pretty easily. If you walk around, you can actually see some named NPCs, however you can't really interact with them in any way. Here are some level 1 trolls that I can somehow kill even though I'm on the Horde. I've heard surprisingly this is actually a good farming spot for mages that do AoE farming with Blizzard. At least if they are Alliance, they can kill some of these trolls to get a lot of experience in this very secluded zone. Why Blizzard put this into the game, I still have no idea. Number 6 on this list is the QUEL'THALAS Tower. So as you guys know, Blood Elves were never actually a playable race until the Burning Crusade. In Classic WoW, there was no way to actually play them, however they still did exist in the game. In some very rare circumstances, you can actually see some Blood Elf NPCs, and they have a very ugly model. But what is more surprising is in the middle of nowhere, next to the coast, behind what would be QUEL'THALAS, is this secret tower. It's kinda strange to see this because given the context, that there's literally nothing around and it's basically just Fatigue Ocean, the fact that this is just randomly in the middle of the coast next to these mountains is pretty weird. In my opinion, I think this was kind of a teaser for the Blood Elves becoming a real playable race. Since it's right next to where QUEL'THALAS would be, I'm pretty sure that this was intended to be a Blood Elf settlement, however Blizzard never actually implemented it. Number 5 on this list is the hidden Stormwind Alley. So guys, if you are an Alliance player, you are probably completely familiar with the layout of Stormwind. At least I thought this myself, however there was a very secret part of the Stormwind map that pretty much nobody knew existed. But if you go to this house in the Dwarven district, you can actually see there is a door going into a room. However, what is inside this room is completely empty. Even if you look around behind the desk, there is no trace of any NPC or anything going on here, which is kinda a little bit spooky. If you continue walking outside the other end of the door, you can actually get into a completely new alley that you guys have probably never been to. If you walk around, it is completely abandoned. There is no NPC here anywhere. To my knowledge, there is actually no quest or anything going on here as to why you would actually need to come to this specific zone. However, for some reason, this secluded little zone was put into the Stormwind map, even though there's no reason to actually go here. There's also an unpopulated inn where you can enter. I think for role-playing purposes, this could be a pretty cool place to go. Since very few people actually knew this existed, your guild can actually take this over as a base, or you could do some role-playing with someone you like. It's kinda crazy that this place has been under our noses this whole time. Until recently, I had no idea this actually existed. Number 4 on this list is the GROM HELLSCREAM Monument. So if any of you guys have played Warcraft 3, you guys will know who GROM HELLSCREAM is. This was a major character in the Orc campaign, and unfortunately he got killed by a demon. In the ending of the Orc campaign, Manoroth actually kills GROM HELLSCREAM, and Thrall becomes the new leader of the Horde. However, if you go to this specific part of Ashenvale, you can actually see there's the remnants of Manoroth just lying here. You can see the 2 halves of his broken spear just floating in the middle of air. It's kinda crazy that Blizzard put this into the game, but it's a really cool Easter egg, even though there's no quest objective going here. Most WoW players would never actually come here because as far as I know, there's actually no quest mobs or any reason to come here, so this is actually really out of the way. In addition, there's also a monument to GROM HELLSCREAM that is just a really cool RP thing to look at. Even if trying to read it, demons attack you. Number 3 on this list is the chicken quest. So all the OG players of World of Warcraft will know what I'm talking about. If you guys know about the chicken in Westfall, please drop a like down below. So with that being said, if you go to the Saldines farm in Westfall, you will actually find a bunch of chickens, and this is where you have a quest to go kill some stuff like the boar meat and gather up some basic quests when you're around level 12. However, if you try and buy stuff from Saldine, you actually find something pretty interesting. He is selling something called a special chicken feed, which is kind of an unusual thing to sell. The flavor text is pretty interesting, however if you try to eat it yourself, nothing will happen. However, this chicken feed has a hidden purpose. If you go select one of the chickens outside of Saldine's farm, and you spam the emote /chicken over and over again, eventually the chicken will actually talk to you. I have no idea how anyone figured this out, but for some reason, WoW players back in the day discovered this secret. If you just spam the chicken emote next to the chicken like 20 times and you just spam the chat with it, you can actually get a quest from it. The chicken will ask you for some Saldine's special chicken feed, and this is the purpose of the chicken feed that we just bought. So once you get the chicken feed, select the chicken and type in /cheer. When you do that, the chicken will talk to you again, and then you can actually hand in the quest if you have the special chicken feed. By doing this, you get a unique chicken pet for pretty much nothing. This was a huge secret / Easter egg back in the day, but when Classic WoW comes out and you want to get yourself a pretty much free chicken pet only for 10 copper, this is how you do it. It's really cool that Blizzard put this insane quest into the game. Although you get no experience for it, you do get a really cool chicken pet, so I highly recommend you guys do this if you're Alliance. Number 2 on this list is HYJAL. So guys that have been playing World of Warcraft in modern times will not see HYJAL as a secret location. However, given the context of World of Warcraft in 2004, this was a giant secret in the game. Of course, HYJAL was in Warcraft 3, and this was a significant lore location in the game, where you would have to fight off Archimonde. However, if you look at the World of Warcraft Classic map, you can actually clearly see there is a zone called HYJAL that is next to Winterspring. However, there is no way to access it, despite it being on the map. So many people came up with all kinds of theories as to how to get access to HYJAL. I think there is only one real way to get into it, and that is involving doing some tricky jumping. In the bottom part of Winterspring, there was a bunch of demons, and if you climb up one of the pillars and then traverse the mountains, once you jump into HYJAL, you can clearly see how much detail Blizzard put into this. HYJAL is an absolutely massive zone, and keep in mind there was actually no official way to get into HYJAL at this point, so seeing HYJAL up and close and in person was an insane moment for any WoW player back in the day. However, that being said, HYJAL is completely sparse. There is not a single NPC or anything here. It's a little bit creepy to explore this giant zone where there's literally nothing there except the terrain. However, that doesn't mean there's not any points of interest. One of the coolest aspects of this place is that there is actually a raid portal here that you can't access, which suggests that Blizzard actually intended for this place to have a zone with what looks to be a dragon raid similar to Onyxia's lair. Who knows what raid Blizzard was intending to put here, but it looks like this would have been a major patch in World of Warcraft Classic. Not only that, but you can actually see the world tree as it was after Warcraft 3. You can see the giant remains of Archimonde, which is just a giant skeleton that is slumped against the world tree. This is an absolutely insane sight to see. Any of you guys that were fans of Warcraft 3 will definitely get a lot of appreciation seeing this. There's also a giant well that is going down underneath the world tree, which is pretty trippy to look at. Number 1 on this list is underneath Stormwind. Getting underneath a capital city is kind of a big deal. Since this is a place that you often go to, going underneath Stormwind is actually a really trippy thing to see. However, to get underneath Stormwind is actually a lot easier than you would think. This torch in Stormwind became infamous for being exploitable. All you have to do is jump at a certain angle on this torch, then jump onto it, and then jump into the wall, and you actually fall through the city. Once you're under here, you can see what Stormwind looks like from underneath. and it's really cool to look at. You can see a bunch of interactable assets that is just floating in the air. However, that being said, you guys probably shouldn't come here. There's a good chance that you could get in trouble with Blizzard and get suspended for doing a glitch, and chances are this will be patched pretty soon. Well guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more videos. This is vaulty signing out.